Hey people, Draykke here again with another Minecraft tutorial, and today I'm introducing you to a fully customizable, infinitely expandable, and completely redstone hidden vending machine for Minecraft. Now, there's been vending machines before. Usually it's just a dispenser or a dropper with a button. They press it and it gives the item. Well, the problem is there's no form of payment then. So if you want to set this up commercially, there's no way of a pair to play you, there's no way to differentiate between forms of payment, and then not to mention you can't really have multiple vendors. Well, the way this works is it will only take one kind of currency, using the same kind of system that I have in my slot machine and my lottery ticket machine. It will take the currency, the system will pick up on it, and then it will basically unlock all of these vending machines and allow the player to choose whatever item they want. And the way this is set up, it is one piece of currency per one item in the vending machine. And as you can see up here, I just have basic some cooked food items that I have in the vendor. And if you look in here, I am using gold nuggets that I have renamed to coins as the currency. Now whatever you set as the currency is completely up to you. This is just what I'm using. So this light will indicate whether or not there is already a piece of currency in the system. And as I mentioned before, one piece of currency equals one item from the vending machine. So as you can see, there's no currency in the system right now. If I press a button, nothing will happen. It will not give me any items. I can press all of them. It doesn't matter because they're basically locked right now. But if you press the button from the payment system, it will accept the currency. This light will come on indicating that there is a coin in the system, and then you can take whatever you want. So I'm going to get a piece of chicken. And that's basically how it works. So like I said, one of the best things about this system is the player can't access the droppers. You can even have these behind full blocks. They can't get to them. They have to pay in order to get the items. There's indicator lights, and none of the redstone's visible. So if you have this against a wall, they will see nothing, which makes this system really, really nice. Okay, so I've went ahead and dug around this system to give you an idea about what you're going up against, and as you can see, it's really not much. The overall design is fairly compact, really resource light, and it's actually very easy to understand once it's broken down step by step. So as you can see, it's kind of divided up system by system, and I will try to do that in my tutorial to kind of break it up as much as I can to make it as simple, but as you can see, it's really not hard at all. You can do this with very basic redstone knowledge as long as you follow the tutorial properly. So, that being said, the materials you need to build this payment system over here is for this top row here. So you're going to need roughly a stack of blocks, any kind of block, it really doesn't matter, but roughly a stack will do, and that will work for the rest of the system as well. Then you'll need 10 pieces of redstone dust, 6 redstone repeaters, 8 redstone torches, 2 redstone comparators, 3 redstone lamps, 3 sticky pistons, 2 regular chests, 1 dropper, 4 hoppers, and 1 button. And that is for the system that will accept the money and will only accept a certain currency that you specify. Now, for the rest of the system, you're going to need this many materials for each vendor that you put in. As I mentioned before, I'm putting in 4 vendors for this entire system, but however many you put is completely up to you. But for each vendor, you will need these following materials: 1 sticky piston, 3 pieces of redstone dust, 2 redstone torches, 2 redstone repeaters, 1 dropper, and 1 button per vendor that you install. Now, the materials you need for this exact system that I'm showing you how to build right now, and that is the 4 vendor system, are the following materials. And I'm not going to read those off. You can look at them on the screen right now and you can see, but they're there in case you want to build this exact system and follow me along as we go. Aside from those materials that I mentioned in the previous segment of this video, you will also need the following items, and that is just 21 items that you can use as a filler item for the hopper. They don't have to be named, they don't have to be really unique, you just have to make sure that they never enter your system, as it could potentially break the item sorter that sorts out the money to make sure it's the correct currency. And then aside from that, you'll just need whatever kind of currency you want. As I said in the beginning of the video, I'm using gold nuggets that I've renamed to coins, but you can use whatever you want. You can even use diamonds if that's what you'd like to do. So whatever you use is up to you, but it's worth mentioning that you will need those items as well. And also you'll need the prizes that you put in the droppers too, but that's kind of implied. Okay, so let's get started. To begin building this system, we should probably start with the user interface wall. And what I mean by that is this big wall here in the front that the player will see and they'll interact with and press the buttons and whatnot. So the total dimensions of that wall are 12 by 3, that is 12 long by 3 high, and we'll just kind of build it step by step here and go along layer per layer. So you want to first figure out where you're going to put your wall at, and in the left corner, just place a block, then place your regular chest, place another block, and then just place your blocks going all the way across to the very end. And actually, I'm going to get down here because it'll make for faster building. Just like that. Now the second layer, you place a block here in the corner, and then you can place whatever kind of block you like, but I'm going to put glass there because I like to see the droppers to make sure that they're facing the same way whenever we put them in later on. So you just put your glass every other block in the end like this, and then seal it off, because this is where the vendors are going to go later on. And then here in the corners, you're going to place your redstone lamps that we have. And these are optional, you don't have to put these in, but you know, they add a nice cosmetic touch. And then above that chest that we just placed there, you're also going to place a piece of glowstone, because you need to be able to open this chest, and you can use stairs above this, just so long as it's a half block and the chest can open up. And then on the top layer here, you're just going to go ahead and seal all of this in with regular blocks, whatever block type you're using. Just like that. Okay, next we're going to install the payment system. So you want to come over here where you put this chest and the glowstone at, and come around the back side of it here. Place one block jutting down from what would be the right redstone lamp if you're facing it. Then you're going to put a block jutting down with a redstone repeater on full delay. Place a sticky piston right next to that block with a block above it, so this redstone repeater is going into it. Place another block coming this way with a repeater on full delay. Place a block in front of that repeater, a block like this, with a redstone repeater facing into what would be the leftmost redstone lamp if you're looking at it dead on. And then place a piece of redstone dust in that corner. Place a block on top. Place a redstone torch facing outward with a block on top. A redstone torch facing inward with a block here and a line of redstone dust going into that block. Now you're going to come down below the system here. Place a sticky piston facing directly downward on that block that we just placed with the redstone dust on it. Place your block of redstone just like that. Then you're going to place two hoppers coming straight down off of that chest. And then two hoppers facing this way just like this with a chest on the end. And then this is very important here, on this middlemost hopper, to the left of it, you're going to place a block with a piece of redstone dust on it, just like that. Okay, next we're actually going to install the item sorter associated with this system. So here on this cornermost hopper here, before you're going into the chest, you're going to place two blocks coming out like this. One block jutting down, one block as a base, and then one block like this. And then you're going to place a comparator facing straight outwards from that hopper. Place two pieces of redstone dust. Place a repeater facing the opposite direction, and then place a redstone torch like this with a block on top. Now inside this hopper here, you're going to take whatever currency item you're using, just take one of them and place in the first slot of the system. So if you're using diamonds, you put your diamond there. If you're using iron bars, you put your iron bar there. Whatever you use is up to you. And then you take your 21 filler items, whatever you're using, and you just drag them across all of the other slots just like this. So it should be your currency item, 5 of your filler, 5 of your filler, 5 of your filler, and 6 of your filler. Okay, next come to this other hopper leading directly into this chest. Place a block under it with a block coming out just like this. Place a block staggered upwards like this. Place another block like this. And then place a block staircase down. And this is at the back of the system too, to give you an idea. And then coming off of this hopper, you're going to place a comparator facing outward. Place a piece of redstone dust. And then place a repeater down on this block just like this. Okay, now on the other side of this block being innervated by the comparator that we just placed, you're going to place a redstone torch. Place a block on top. A redstone torch on the side of it. And then you're going to place your glowstone lamp right on top of that redstone torch. And if you're keeping up with the design, that will be the indicator light to indicate whether or not there is a piece of currency already in the system. Okay, now you want to come down below the system, right where you place this repeater at, and you're just going to place a row of blocks going all the way across, lining up with the blocks matched above. And you can stop here with where the last piece of your vendor is going to go to. I placed glass there, but like I said, it doesn't have to be glass, it can be a full block if you want. That is up to you. Now, every other one of these blocks, you're going to stagger a block coming up like this, and then you're going to place a sticky piston on top of those blocks, with blocks on top of those sticky pistons. Now, in each one of these little crevices, you're going to place a repeater leading from one sticky piston into the next, going all the way across for however big that you made this system out to be. Okay, now come underneath where you put your glass at, because in the front this is where your buttons are going to go. And you're just going to come down one block from where your button's going to be, and place a piece of redstone dust. And you're going to do this all the way across for each one of the vendors that you placed in your system. So, just like this. And then come around the other side, and place a block on the other side of the sticky piston where your block's already at, and then place repeaters facing outward. So it should be redstone dust, your block put down because the sticky pistons are not extended, and then a redstone repeater on the other side. Okay, now in front of each one of those repeaters that you just placed, you're going to place a block just like this, and then place redstone torches on top of each one of those blocks. Place blocks on top of each one of those redstone torches, and then place redstone torches facing inward on each one of those blocks that you just placed. Okay, now you're going to put in the droppers associated with the system. So right where you place those redstone torches at, you're just going to place droppers facing inward from them towards the glass or whatever item that you put there. And that is not the correct direction. They need to be facing the other way. just like that. And then do the same for however many vendors that you put in. And like I said, you could put in as many as you wanted to. It's infinitely expandable. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of the video, but we're not covering that just yet. Okay, now come below these blocks with the torches on top and being innervated by these redstone repeaters, and you're just going to place a block coming down and going all the way across just like this. So it should be a big line of blocks, and then you're just going to staircase it down just like this, and place redstone dust going all the way across on each one of those blocks, and then staircase it downwards. And now here, you're going to place a block underneath where this comparator is located at. You're going to place a redstone torch on a side, facing into this block underneath this hopper here. Then you're going to place a repeater going into that block, and then match your redstone dust up with it that comes off of this line of blocks here. Okay, now you're going to put buttons underneath each one of these droppers that you have here, just on the blocks underneath them, so the redstone dust pile should be right underneath where you put the buttons at. And then you can go ahead and put in your prizes. I'm just going to put in some cooked food items just like I did in the demonstration part of the video, but you can put in whatever you want. That's what's so nice about this system. Okay, at this point in time, the system is complete. That wasn't so bad, was it? But now we can go ahead and give it a shot, make sure it works out. So I have my currency here. You can go ahead and throw in as many as you want to. And then you'll need to place your button here too. I almost forgot to mention that. And then just press the button. The system will accept one of the currency. As you can see, there's 62. And if you look down below, all of these pistons are now raised, which indicates that you can actually order your items now because these are raised up, so it will carry the signal over. So I'm not sure what I even put in these droppers, but I will press this button and take this. And it is a piece of cooked chicken that you can see I now have in my inventory. So that's pretty much it for the tutorial portion. I'm going to show you how to expand this as far as you want to, though. It's just a very, very minor change that you might need to make if you make this any larger. Okay, so if you want to expand this a great deal of ways, however many vendors you want to do, this redstone dust might lose signal. And what I mean by that is if the player orders, say, an item from over in this direction, this might not carry the signal all the way to the end because it's over 15 pieces of redstone dust. So the easy solution to that is, in between where your vendors are at, just break your piece of redstone dust and put in a repeater. That's literally it. So just every 15 blocks, just break a piece of redstone dust in between the vendors and put in a repeater, and that will extend the signal. Just make sure you do not put the repeater underneath one of these vendors because that will break the system. Alrighty, that's the end of the tutorial video. That's pretty much it. That's the whole system. Like I said, you can make this as big or as small as you want to. You can use whatever kind of currency you want, whatever kind of prizes. One of the really nice things about the system is, too, once you fill in all the gaps and whatnot, there's no visible redstone. The only thing the player will see is this little user interface wall, so it actually makes it a very nice looking system as well. So the rest of the video is just going to be kind of an explanation where I glance over things as I usually do in my tutorial video. I'll kind of just explain each system, how it works and whatnot, because that interests some people. If it doesn't interest you, that's completely fine, but I hope to see you then. Okay, so we might as well just start explaining this where we actually began building it at. So we'll start here with the payment system. I've used this payment system before in my slot machine and my lottery ticket videos. Basically, it just makes it so the system will only take out one piece of currency. And it does that because when you press this button, it will take the signal, power this repeater, which will power this block. But at the same time, it will also power this sticky piston, which will basically move this block up really fast and bring it back down. So it kind of acts as a short pulse tick almost, and it allows enough time for this sticky piston here to short pulse this piece of redstone block. So, since it is in this position here, this hopper is locked, so no item can enter it. Whenever this sticky piston gets activated, it will push this block down and bring it back up, giving just enough time for one item to get from this chest into this hopper. And then whenever it gets back up to this static position, the item will go from this hopper into this hopper and continue through the system. Now this here is a basic item sorter. A lot of YouTubers use it. I've used it in many of my videos. Basically, it just sorts it out so that only the item that you have specified can go through the system. In this case, we're using the currency of coins, but you can use whatever you want. As I mentioned before, you can use diamonds, iron bars, etc., etc. But it will only accept that, and it will accept nothing else. And as I mentioned, you need to make sure that the filler item that you use will never enter your system. So I really do recommend naming 21 items, but, you know, it's a level expenditure, so that is up to you. So if the user puts in a piece of currency that matches your system, so say you have this set up to accept diamonds and the player puts in a diamond, it will go through the item sorter and will go into this hopper. Now it will not go into this chest because this hopper is locked by this redstone torch here. So, the item is now in this hopper, this comparator will pick up on it, and this light will turn on as a result. At the same time, this comparator will power this piece of redstone dust, which will power all of these repeaters, which powers all of these sticky pistons, raising them all up and allowing the signal to go from this redstone dust to this repeater if the user presses the button. And then from there, it's this really basic redstone concept. The torches will carry the signal up and will fire the dropper. Now, we have this line of redstone dust down here, because if the player does press the button, we basically want that piece of currency to go from that hopper into the chest, turning out the light and lowering down the pistons, that way the player doesn't get free items. So that's why we have this line of redstone dust here. Whenever the player presses a button, it will power this redstone dust, which will signal this repeater, which will invert that torch, which will basically turn off this hopper, which will put the item into the chest. So, in effect, it will turn off the light and deactivate all of the sticky pistons, allowing it so the player cannot order any items. As you can see, they're getting nothing. However, if they put in their piece of payment, these sticky pistons will raise. If they press the button, the signal will pass through, and they will get the item that they ordered. That's pretty much it from there on. As I already mentioned, you can make this as big as you want to. I've already explained how to do that. So if you liked the video, please remember to drop a like down below on your way out. If you really liked it, press that subscribe button, favorite, share, all of that good stuff. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.